Good day, everybody. We're going to be interviewing the Honourable Stephen McNeil, leader of the Nova Scotia Liberal Party. And I'm Sam Wright, and I'm conducting this interview on behalf of the Kings West CAF Association. And I just want to welcome Stephen and thank him for taking the time from his busy schedule to join us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. So first, how about we start just a little background information about what exactly do you do?
Well, I have two jobs really. I'm the MLA for the riding of Annapolis, which, like the other 51 members of the legislature, I conduct and try to be my constituents' conduit into the government and the government agencies.
Okay.
And then my second job is as leader of the official opposition in the province of Nova Scotia and the Liberal Party. It's my job to rebuild the party, continue growing the party, to provide an alternative to the present government of Nova Scotia, the NDP government. And that takes up a fair bit of time.
I can imagine it does. So when exactly did you start the career path towards politics?
Well, I ran in the election of 1999. I lost that campaign, and then we as a family decided it was time that I should try it again. And in 2003, I ran in the election then and was successful and was re-elected in 2006 and 2009.
Okay. So why basically did you choose the path? What pushed you towards politics?
Well, the job of being the MLA was really an extension of what I had been doing. I've been involved in the community in some ways through our children, through minor sports, through hockey, through soccer. I carried that a bit further and worked in some community economic development, and I also sat on the community health board, which really was around trying to rebuild the communities that I live in, trying to make sure that there was activities and events that were happening in a positive way to help our community. And then people had seen that, and I had been involved with the Liberal Party on a small scale, and because prior to this I was running my own business, so people had seen that and just asked me to think about running, and I decided to do that in 1999. It was really during the election. The election was 2 weeks old when I got nominated, but it was a wonderful experience for me. I learned a lot about this community. I learned really what I didn't know about it, and it was really a positive thing. And my second career, which is leading the party, really chose me. It just happened. I've been actively involved. I saw things that I thought I had certain skills that I thought I could give to the process of leading the province. I was able to garner enough support, and it just continued. And 5 years later, we're really gaining momentum, and looking forward to the next election and try to convince Nova Scotians to give us a chance.
Definitely. So what are some of the most common problems that you run into, like on a day-to-day basis or things like that?
Well, here at our office, we often hear from Nova Scotians who are having difficult days, who needing our support to help them find their way through the bureaucracy, getting access to community services, housing, trying to make sure that they have access to pharmacare for their families, making sure medication, looking for are there job opportunities, where can we find jobs in here. It's very much of most MLAs, I speak for my own, I guess, my office is really an entry point for my constituents into government to try to find the answers to the problems that they're facing that particular day.
Okay. So, since you began your career with the Nova Scotia Liberal Party, how much has the job changed over the past years?
Well, the job as being the leader has changed substantially. When I became the leader in 2007, the party was in third place. We had gone through leaders, successive leaders, about 4 or 5 in the last decade prior to me taking over. The organization infrastructure had been depleted, demoralized in many ways. So we have spent the last 5 years of working and trying to build on that. In the last general election, we became the official opposition. We were able to build our own party infrastructure and supports of my office around helping our party to reorganize. And we spent in the early years after the last election as much time organizing as anything. And since then, now it's really been about putting together a proper platform and ideas that we're going to take into the next election.
Okay. So, say if someone wanted to enter the field of politics today, how would they go about doing that?
Well, I think it's like any other profession. First of all, you really have to have a passion to want to do it. You have to be. There is no set job description or skills. And there are skills, but there's no real set qualifications, quite honestly, to be a member of the legislature. You have to be able to convince the people of your community that you would be their best representative. And I think people do that often by living their lives in a positive public way, by interacting in their community, doing good things, whether it's in their own church, whether it's helping with different community organizations, the Lions Club, sitting on the auxiliaries of the hospitals, any of the community functions that allows you to continue to build the framework of a positive community that you live in, and then that also allows you to be seen by your peers as someone who they may vote for in a general election.
Very good. So, how much pride do you take in your job, or representing the people of Nova Scotia in what you do?
I feel very blessed to be able to represent the constituency of Annapolis. I have, it is a community that I grew up in. It's one where I have, we moved here when I was very young. I've been able to raise 2 children here. It's a community that I hope to retire in. And the fact that this community has given me the opportunity to represent them on 3 separate occasions, it's extremely humbling. And to be given the privilege to lead a political party, and particularly one that I think is best suited to lead the province of Nova Scotia, the Liberal Party, the most centrist party in the province, is just something that I couldn't have imagined at the time. And I've just been very blessed to be able to do that, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do that.
So just moving away from the topic a tiny bit, given the stressful nature of job in politics, how do you collect yourself on days where the job can just be a lot to handle?
Well, you know, it is some days very stressful, but you know, I'm very lucky. I've seen, you know, oftentimes the problems that are presented to me, people are in a much more difficult situation than I am. I get to come home. You know, I have a home that I can come to. I've got 2 great kids. Andrew and I have lived here for a period of time. It's kind of it's our escape. We can afford to do some of the things that we want to do. People who see me on a daily basis have difficulty just living, being able to do the basic things to live. That's stress. Stress is when you're trying to figure out how you're going to feed your family. Stress is trying to figure out how am I going to pay the power bills, how am I going to keep a roof over our head. And I see that stress in other people. So when I think my days are difficult, I just remind myself how fortunate I am to do that.
Good. So, acknowledging that you still have a healthy political career ahead of yourself.
Well, that's good.
What do you plan on doing when you finally take the step and plan to leave politics?
Well, I haven't really thought about it at all. I'm still young, and there will be a career for me after politics, hopefully one of my own choosing, and at a time of my own choosing. But I've been solely focused on trying to be the Premier of Nova Scotia, trying to lead our party, prepare our party for a general election, out recruiting candidates, putting together ideas and platforms that will make an impact on ordinary Nova Scotians, on their daily lives. And I really haven't given a lot of thought to what the next chapter of my life will be after this. But there will be lots of time for that, hopefully.
Definitely. So now moving on, I just have a couple questions regarding the Community Access Project. So what kind of things do you know about the Community Access Project?
Well, I know I've been fortunate because it's been a pretty active one in my constituency here in Annapolis. I know that, first of all, the program is really an opportunity for every Nova Scotian to have access to the internet, an opportunity to, whether it's emailing, whether it is going in searching things, being able to do it in a public forum. Not everyone in my constituency actually has a computer. Not everyone in my constituency who has a computer has access to high-speed internet or internet. Period. Yes. So this is their ability to be able to do that. I've also seen some of the other programs that have taken place, from providing schools for seniors to come in to teach them how to use the internet. They've done those programs, and also for programs that are happening in some of our libraries and around the CAP program, helping young families and young kids a chance to be. It's their first experience of understanding how powerful and positive the internet can be, and the CAP site is that entry point.
Exactly. And just one last question. CAP recently lost its federal funding and took a very large hit. What's your opinion on the issue, and do you think there's any way to resolve it?
Well, first of all, I hope it is. I hope the federal government comes to its senses, because it is another hit on, particularly in all communities, but particularly in rural communities. It is a service and a program that was used by a wide range of Nova Scotians. And it is such a positive thing for our communities. And without the ability at this point for everyone to have access to the internet, the CAP sites have been a great fill for that, for people to be able to come in and do whatever it is that they might want to do. So I hope they do that. I'm encouraged by the way Nova Scotians have responded in big numbers of trying to pressure government to keep that piece of community infrastructure in place. And I hope government will respond to that. And anything that I can do or we can do, we will do, and we've tried to do, of keeping this issue in the forefront.
Very good. Anyways, that's going to be all the questions we have. So I'd like to thank you very much for having me into your home.
Thank you very much.